All right, this is News 14 Carolina meteorologist Matthew East. This is the Tuesday edition of East Weather Video, and this is actually the second time I've cut this video. Had some significant audio issues the first time around. Giving this a shot again. Hopefully this turns out okay. This is the temperature plot from 5 a.m. this morning, and we have a significant cold front from the New England states on down to the southern plains. Ahead of that front, the air mass very warm, muggy, and unstable. Behind it, very cool and very dry. In fact, this morning, parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin. So certainly this is a much cooler air mass. It's pushing toward the northeastern part of the country and will wedge down the eastern side of the mountains into our area tomorrow. That's the radar from this morning, and that radar will be really lighting up with activity this afternoon as that cold front advances into the very warm and unstable air across the southeast. And we'll see a good chance for scattered showers and storms around here as we go through today and tonight. There's that trough. This is off of the 06Z run of the GFS. Nice trough swinging into the New England states. And we're going to be looking at that cold front lining up and down the mountains this afternoon and advancing our way. Again, scattered showers and storms this afternoon and tonight. Now, some of those storms could be strong to severe. We're not technically in the slight risk with the early morning day one convective outlook from the SPC, but I do think some of the storms could produce some large hail and damaging winds this afternoon and this evening. Not a huge outbreak of severe weather most likely, but some storms could certainly be strong to severe. Okay, off to our Wednesday afternoon, and by the way, we'll talk much more about Ike in a couple of moments at the end of this video. The trough has exited the New England states, but there's the high pressure moving into the New England states and wedging down the eastern side of the mountains. And tomorrow looks like a very classic wedge day around here. A lot of clouds, some showers from time to time, and much cooler. I think much of the daylight hours for Wednesday, we could be in the upper 60s, so it'll be a much cooler day than what we've seen recently. Here we are at 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon. A wedge still very much in place around our area. And while I don't think as much rain around Thursday as what we'll see Wednesday, I'm going to leave in the chance for some showers from time to time for our Thursday. Highs still Thursday only in the low to mid-70s in many spots. There goes Ike into the northwestern Gulf. In the wake of Ike, we see a ridge begin to build here across the southeast. I'm going to leave in the chance for a few showers and storms, really Friday and the weekend, even though there's not a lot indicated here on the modeling. I think just to be on the safe side for the time being, I'll leave in the chance for a few afternoon showers and storms. All right, this is Saturday. The ridge begins to crank. That means temperatures will begin to warm up around here. I think by the weekend, well up into the 80s. Some spots by Sunday might even hit 90 degrees. This is Sunday at 2 p.m. Notice a very nice full latitude trough beginning to swing into the northern part of the United States. There's the surface map. That front lying at that point in time from the northeastern states down to Oklahoma and Texas. And there goes the trough swinging into the eastern part of the country. And at the surface, this is, by the way, this is Monday at 2 p.m. High pressure sitting over Kansas and Missouri. And a nice northerly flow in place around here. If that solution is correct, we'd have a nice push of cooler weather next week. But the European, not in complete agreement. The European does not have that trough fully phased. It hangs back some energy there in the southern plains. And oftentimes that's an error that occurs in the European model. So I think the GFS might be onto something here. We'll see. But if the GFS solution is correct, again, it may be a nice push of cooler air next week. All right, there's Ike off of the Cuban radar. Notice still a nicely defined eye, even though it's been battered by land here. And this continues to be a very serious situation for Cuba. The center, as I'm cutting this video, between the Isle of Youth and western Cuba. Ike will cross across western Cuba today, then into the Gulf of Mexico, and the model guidance has continued to gradually shift southward. The current suite of model guidance mainly takes Ike into central and southern parts of Texas. That's the 06Z tropical model guidance spaghetti plot there, and most of the models take Ike into central or south Texas. And let me say this, I think the conditions in the Gulf of Mexico very favorable for strengthening. The Gulf is warm, the upper level pattern looks to be very favorable for strengthening, and I think there's a very good chance Ike becomes a major hurricane again in the Gulf. In fact, that's the European model plot, and it's pretty rare on a global model to see pressure that low. The previous run, the pressure was down in the 930s with Ike, and that's just really, really low on a global model to pick up a low-pressure area that strong. And so, again, I think there's a good chance Ike becomes a very significant hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico and all interests from Louisiana through Texas into North Mexico need to monitor Ike's progress very, very closely. All right, that's it for this edition of East Weather Video. If you want to drop me an email, matthew.east@news14.com. And, of course, News 14 Carolina for you on television, Time Warner Cable Channel 14 in the Charlotte Triad Triangle, and coastal Wilmington television markets there, as well as on the web at www.news14.com. Everyone have a great day, and God bless.